Winter comfort isn't about gear. Winter comfort is very much about the routines you have. In this video I'm going to show you some of the routines and some of the things I do to get a comfortable life out here. My name is Matti. I live just above the Arctic Circle in Swedish Lapland. Together with my partner Stina, I'm working as a nature guide and dog musher up here in the north. And outdoor life is actually what we're doing for a living. This time I'm out on a 4-day trip with 3 guests, and I'm going to bring you with me and talk about my routines. So I just done an uphill and now I'm really warm. We had to talk about staying warm, and when you're out here you want to avoid being wet, avoid to being moist. Now I wear wool clothes closer to my skin and that makes it a little bit better, but I had to prevent sweating. Then you had to open up the jackets if you start working out, because if you get sweat you get moist clothes and that will cool off your body. So now I've been doing some uphill and been running, so now I open up and ventilate a little bit instead of sweating. If you are a skier you can also lower your tempo and work under the sweating line, or what you said. But when you do dog sledding you had to step off and run, and you can't avoid this workout, so then you had to open up instead.
After a day on the trail, we reach the camp. Then we take care of the dogs, fetching water, start up fire in the stove, and very soon we got the cozy home. Minus 30 Celsius outside, and we got a hot dinner in a warm tent. In camp it's time to continue the fight with the moist. Shoes, liners, socks, gloves, jackets, everything should be dried. Take this work serious and you will be fit for fight tomorrow again.
So bad. And then the next day I apologised to my... I'm going to tip this outside, yeah.
It's a new day and we are back on the trail again. As you see, the light behind me is amazing. So beautiful. This morning Brigitte wasn't feeling alright, so she stayed at the camp. She felt tired and something was going on in her body. And when people travel here, it could be that people catch a virus on the airport or something like that. But it also could be that not drinking enough, not eating enough. Now I don't know what was actually the case, and but he was fine to stay back in the tent, so we left her and heading out on the trail. So I have 8 dogs today and the other 2 guests have 5. So we're just climbing out of the river valley now, and down there it was minus 35. Here it's already much warmer, and we haven't come to the top of the hill yet. I think it's like today 10 degrees between the lower and the higher part. Vested! Nej. Vested! Oh yeah. They wanted to go to the right, as we usually do. We have seen 2 elk so far, and now I'm searching for a landslide. Anna, when you're out here on the trail, eating and drinking is so important. When it's cold like this, you don't really feel thirsty, but you had to drink a lot. Now I'm coming up on the hill here, and it's a little bit warmer. Here we're going to have lunch. This will be nice. Stop my feet to make fire. Anna. Then we put one anchor there. When people are talking about hygiene, they usually talk about lunch. So we can put one anchor in the back, one in the front. So for example, if you're working with the dogs, when they shit, these balls can very often be full of dog shit. And if you touch frozen dog shit with your bare hands, you know what's going to happen. And next time you touch the food. It's also that the dog shit on the trail while running, and that shit ended up under the sled, and it maybe ended up under your shoe. And then you're stepping around with your feet on the ground, and then you had to be aware, where do you put your food? There is actually kind of dirty zone and clean zone, and the dirty zone is where all things that have been contaminated by dog shit. Here we actually have an interesting thing. It is now a wide angel. It's an elk down below on the lake there. The trailer lens is up there in my sled, and it's gone already. So now 5 elks so far today.
During low temperature, you easily want to skip out the lunch and you stop for eating. You don't feel thirsty in the same way as a warm day, and you don't want to stop and get cold. Make a fire, make it comfortable, eat and drink. You need it more than you believe.
Now it's minus 30 Celsius and we are heading back to the camp. The only way to get warm now is actually moving your body, jumping, running, walking, doing things. Yeah, when we came back to the tent camp, we was preparing food and feeding the dogs and all that. Brigitte is okay, but she still there's something going on in her body. Maybe there is some virus or something. Stina home is ill. She has something in the lungs, and I'm not feeling really okay. I thought first for a while it was because I didn't drink enough, and it is quite cold now. And when I look here at the thermometer, it feels colder, but here it is 30, you see, 32 degrees below zero. The dogs are doing fine. They are doing great. And several of them have jackets. Hey Tanja, hey. Hey, så fin du är ju. Hey. So he's fine. We had a weak northern light here. Today I wanted to talk about work out uphill when you help the dog. And there was a few more things that I wanted to say, but the camera switched off because of the low temperature. And one thing I wanted to say is when you're running behind the dogs uphill, you get like this, and the air is really cold and really dry, and when you inhalate that, you should try to avoid like that. And Brigitte here, she's working a lot with breathing things, and she said you should use the nose and breathe through the nose. And that's what I also said, but I also do like with around the tongue, so I get the air get a small chance to heat up and get some moisture from the saliva, at least. But probably it's better to breathe much more through the nose. If you look at the reindeer, they are actually built up in a certain way inside the nose, so when they're breathing in, the air is getting humidity and the air is warming up, and when they're breathing out, the air is warming up the things in the nose. And yeah, you can study that. Ask ChatGPT or read a book or something about it, and you will be amazed about how the reindeer is adjust and how they are made for this climate. And then one more thing, because you're drinking and eating a lot, then you also need to pee a lot. And when you then are in the sleeping bag and suddenly you feel like, oh, I need to pee, don't wait. Nothing will change. Sooner or later you will not have a good sleep until you have been out peeing. So step out, run out, do your stuff, pee, go back to the sleeping bag, and then you could continue the good night's sleep. Don't push that forward, because you're just losing hours of sleep. Now I'm going to bed. So it's a new day now, and as you see, it's more cloudy. I think the temperature has started going up. It's still like 30, but the temperature will increase during the day. We are doing a tour from the camp today again, and one thing that I want to talk about today is that before you really get cold, you start acting. Before your hands are cold and fumbling, what don't you say, then you put the gloves on, and then you work with the gloves. Before you start sweating, I think I say that all the time, because that's such an important thing, to adjust the clothes, adjust your activity level before you go into getting too cold or too warm. Now we're dressing up the dogs, and it will be a stressy moment, and then we will have a nice ride. It's only 3 o'clock and we're already back at the camp. My group today, they asked if we shouldn't go for a shorter ride. So we have actually made just a half day on the trail and didn't stop for lunch on the trail. That's also a very important thing when you are out here. That is to adjust your activity after the weather. So if you have really cold weather, why push yourself too hard? If it's snowstorm, why push yourself too hard? Sometimes you had to reach another cabin, sometimes you had to do something, and that's a different thing. But today we didn't have to do that. So it's good to plan a tour with a lot of air or a lot of space, not the super hard fixed program that you have to done long distance every day, blah blah blah. And I would say that if you make a short tour, like a 2-day trip, you're going out and coming to the tent, that's maybe harder than doing a 20-day tour. Because if you do a really long tour, you are more relaxed. You can take a day off, you can adjust your plan. The rest, staying dry, eating, drinking, adjust your clothes, that's just the same routine, day after day after day. And I don't think it make things harder if it's a longer tour or than if it's a shorter tour. So with a longer tour you have time to come into the routines, you have time to take a day off now and then. If your sleeping bag are moist or if your shoes didn't dry the night, you can stop the whole day and just drying your equipment. That you don't do if you are out on a 3-day trip, or like now we are on a 4-day trip. So it's not harder to be out a long time than a short time. Now it's time to go into the tent and make some early dinner. So now we are on our way back home again, and I feel that I have cut something that's deep into my airway. I don't feel alright. They promise 33 to 35 degrees, but I think it's warmer today. I think it's only 30 or I will check. Wait. Little bit difficult to check the thermometer while driving. Yes, it's only 30 below zero. Stunner. With the global warming, we maybe get 1 or 2 degrees warmer. So then it will be 30 instead of minus 32. I don't think that helps a lot.
Now I'm back home at the kennel and we have finished the tour. So as you see, all these routines with staying warm, staying dry, and eating and drinking and doing stuff prevent being cold and so on. It's not science. It's very easy stuff. In this video, it's so much more things I really want to say, and I can't cover everything. And maybe you also have different ideas about, but then feel free to leave a comment so we can learn from each other. Because I get so many nice comments from all of you guys on the other videos we have done, and I'm so happy for that. I learn also all the time. And then there is new things that we can try. And if you haven't done it, you should read the comments on the videos, because there is so much good stuff in the comments. I can highly recommend that. And in this video also Brigitte and Sofia and Susanne was on the tour from Australia and Germany, and they are not used to this temperature. So you should have respect for people who never have been into this. It's hardcore. It's not easy peasy things. It is difficult to keep the hands warm when you don't have the experience. You have to practice. And you get better circulation if you expose yourself to things like this more, and you get better routines, and you get to know your body better, and you know when it's time to really start taking care of cold fingers, and you know when it's not dangerous. So while I'm done this my whole life, so for me it's directly when I got cold fingers, I know what level it is. And now when the temperature is only 22 degrees, after some days with 30 to minus 35 Celsius, it's really feel warm. But now it's time for me to go inside, make a big cup of tea with honey and taking care of my airways, so I'm fit for fight for the next tour that's coming. See you next video. Ciao.